In more recent years, Harley Quinn became an independent anti-hero who's even associated with the Bat family. However, this was not always the case. It's no secret that Harley was in an abusive relationship with the Joker. Hi, my name is Matt Smilix, and today we are going to take a look at the power struggle between the Joker and Harley Quinn. I know the Joker 2 movie releases around this video, but this video was written a few months before the movie, so if it doesn't really add up with what happens in that movie, I'm sorry, I'm not a time traveler. This video will, however, focus on the abusive relationship between Joker and Harley. So if this is a triggering subject for you, I do suggest you skip this video. Most Batman villains have an obsession. Two-Face likes duality, Penguin likes power, Scarecrow has an obsession with fear, Joker has an obsession with Batman, and Harley has, or at least had, an obsession with Joker. A lot of the stories centering Harley imply that she was once involved with the Clown Prince of Crime, even though the Joker may not be present in those stories himself. This dependent dynamic is already quite problematic in relationships. Harley was very dependent on Joker, while he was very independent from her. Their dynamic is obviously not the only problematic part about their relationship. There's definitely talk of domestic violence between the two. At times, especially in the Batman the Animated Series, they make it seem like it's just for laughs.
It is to laugh, huh, Mr. J?
They do make it explicitly clear that aggression plays a big role in the relationship, even leading to attempted murders. Although certain writers wanted two to be separated, it almost seems like they are doomed to repeat that cycle. This can be explained by Foucault's subjecthood. Michel Foucault is a philosopher who had theories about power struggles. He said that power is wielded by people through acts of domination or coercion. Power would lead to subjugation and exclusion. Foucault has two definitions for the subject. The first one is subject to someone else by control and dependence. The second meaning is being tied to his own identity by a conscious or self-knowledge. It basically means that a subject is someone who is sort of like owned by someone else through control, but also knowing yourself and your identity, and sometimes even seeing a reflection of yourself in another. Anyway, the subjugation would take away personal freedom. Both Joker and Harley are not free. They pretend to be, but they're not. Joker needs Harley. Not necessarily as a girlfriend, but as a way of feeling autonomous. He wants to feel like he's on top, and he does this by using violence to bring others, mainly Harley, down. Joker would fit the second definition of the subject. He's not being controlled, but he knows his identity and what to do in order to keep it. Harley, however, fits both definitions. Joker has control over Harley, and they both know that. On the other hand, Joker makes her a subject to his control. Joker has power over Harley to the point where he models for her. He shows her exactly how she should be. He is the Clown Prince of Crime, and to hang with him, she needs to be the Clown Princess. Not only does Joker push her to be this way, he relates to her and sees his own identity in Harley. This leads to a pretty complex cycle of power struggles. Gotham has many villains. Joker is probably the most well-known and also the scariest. He likes that reputation and he wants to keep it. He wants to feel that control over Gotham, and he needs to exercise that control in order to feel powerful. Harley offers a means in which he can do that. He has power and control over her. Joker may think Harley is expendable, but he would be wrong. Harley ensures that Joker is the powerful clown that he is because she gives him that feeling. So, although he subjugates her, he accomplishes his work through her. Sure, he has other henchmen, but they don't always pay attention. Joker likes attention, and Harley gives him just that. She claps when he speaks while other goons don't even bat an eye. However, Harley needs Joker as well to embody her own criminal clown alter ego. Joker needs Harley, and that becomes abundantly clear in Harley Quinn's very first appearance. This was in the 1992 episode of Batman the Animated Series named Joker's Favor. It's my favorite episode, so I'll give a quick rundown. Charlie is a regular man who cuts off the Joker in traffic. Joker becomes angry and obviously Charlie becomes afraid. Joker lets him go on the condition that Charlie will once do him a favor. Several years later, Joker finds Charlie and takes him with him to a party celebrating Commissioner Gordon. Charlie's only task is to open the door to the ballroom where the party is taking place. Harley Quinn brings in a giant cake where the Joker is in hiding. She releases a gas that paralyzes the attendees. During this scene, she is cheering for Joker while he is committing a deadly prank. Of course, Batman finds him, but Joker escapes. Charlie threatens Joker and says he will kill him. At this point, Joker is calling out for Batman's help. When Batman arrives, Joker hides behind his cape. In this episode, Joker practically does nothing. It's Harley who's seen enacting the plans, cheering, cracking jokes. Without her, he would be powerless. The same dynamic can be seen in the new Batman Adventures episode Mad Love, which serves as an origin for Harley. In here, Joker is drawing up a plan to capture Batman. Harley tries to seduce him, but she gets rejected and pushed off the table. Harley wants to do good, so she looks at the plans and finds a flaw. She fixes it by carrying out her superior plan. She's proud of herself and is convinced Joker will be proud as well. While Batman is manipulating Harley, she calls the Joker to tell her about what she has done. In this moment, Joker feels powerless once again. His plan failed while Harley has gotten closer than anyone at capturing Batman. His response is to throw her out of the window. His ego was hurt and he felt a loss of power. Once again, he regains that power by being violent towards his subject, Harley Quinn. During the one-shot Batman Harley Quinn, Joker sort of breaks up with Harley in order to regain power. Kind of weird, but let me explain. Joker says he has to kill Harley, and I cite, "I felt some changes coming over me since you entered my life. I've been reminded of what it's like to be part of a couple, to care for someone who cares for me. It's the first time in recent memory I've had those feelings and I hate having those feelings. They're upsetting, confusing, and worse, distracting me from getting my share of Gotham now that the getting's good." He doesn't just admit that he cares for Harley, but also that she prevents him from getting this powerful role. According to Judith Butler, another philosopher, the presence of a woman such as Harley shows a loss in power because Joker became the object of the female gaze. This female gaze is emasculating to him. His response is to destroy Harley's gaze in order to regain his power. Something similar is seen during Batman Arkham Knight. When Batman is turned into the Joker, we play as a fear-induced Joker. And what does he see? Articles about his death and how no one cared. How Riddler is dating Harley. How other villains are Batman's greatest foe. He fears being forgotten and he fears being powerless. We see this as well during the Mad Love story. As I said before, Harley Quinn carried out a plan to abduct Batman, and she succeeded. According to Batman, she had come closer to killing him than anyone ever had. After Joker throws Harley out of a window, we see Harley lying in bed in Arkham Asylum. She is covered in bandages, but next to her is a rose with a note that says, "Feel better soon, Jay." When she gets asked about how it felt to be so dependent on a man, she says it felt like a kiss, while looking at the flower. This shows that Joker needs Harley, which is why he contacts her. Not because he's sorry or anything. He never really apologizes, and Harley even blames herself. But he needs her to do his dirty work. The language in this scene is also similar to what real-life abuse victims use. The victim often blames themselves so they can find forgiveness for the offender, especially once they show a welcome sign. Sometimes this is an apology, sometimes it's not. If you look at it from a gendered perspective, it's often the male who assumes dominance through psychological subjugation over the female subject, who accepts the abuse as her own fault. Therefore, she can forgive him when he shows the slightest bit of kindness. Paul Dini, the creator of Harley Quinn, confirmed this power dynamic in a 2010 interview with Rocket Llama. He said, "The Joker looks at her as someone to make himself feel better and to have someone to do the work he doesn't want to do. Is it a great relationship? No, it's pretty abusive." He confirms that Joker uses Harley to feel better about himself and his work. Earlier, I mentioned that they seem doomed to repeat the cycle. According to Judith Butler, the action of gender requires a performance that is repeated. This repetition is at once a reenactment and re-experiencing of a set of meanings already socially established. It is the mundane and ritualized form of their legitimation. Butler uses this to say that gender is a performance. For example, feminine traits are learned and not natural. We learn how to behave according to our gender. We can look at the Joker-Harley relationship this way. Their abusive pattern is necessary for its performance. Joker accepts Harley as his sidekick, he ignores her feelings, he uses violence against her, and he repeats this pattern over and over and over again once Harley returns to him, and she usually does. Domestic abuse is often a cycle such as this one. There's love and affection, often referred to as the honeymoon phase. Then there's control, anger, violence, and eventually an apology or a form of affection that makes the cycle start over again. On average, people go through this cycle 7 times before leaving. Harley stays in this relationship for quite a bit, although it's a self-destructive relationship. Harley's motivation can be explained to congruent and contingent marked mirroring, which is a phenomenon used in psychodynamic therapy. In short, it's often used to attend to children. For example, a child gets bullied at a playground. Contingent or contingent, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it means that the parent won't let the child wait and instantly goes to them to talk or comfort them. Congruent means that the adult's response is corresponding to the feeling that the child has. Parents need to be understanding. Marked mirroring means that you don't just mirror what a person does. A parent who sees their child cry isn't gonna cry along, they'll soothe them. When this goes right most of the time, children will learn their emotions and how to cope with them. They'll also learn how to deal with other people's emotions and how to be empathetic. In regards to Harley Quinn, we know her parents, especially her father, weren't the most stable people. In the Harley Quinn show, he even tries to kill her. So yeah, not great. So when this congruent and contingent marked mirroring goes wrong, children won't fully understand their emotions or how to deal with them. They can even create a sort of incoherent feeling of their selves or an alien self. It's like a part of them inside they don't understand and they want it gone. They want to experience themselves as coherent. This is one of the reasons why some people stay in abusive relationships and sometimes even become the abuser. They see themselves as bad, which may lead to externalizing behavior such as emotional outbursts or, in Harley's case, seduction. The other person may not tolerate it and project that feeling back in an abusive way. This is a repeated cycle, but it's addictive. Being a victim can be addictive. It's predictable and structured. Sometimes, victims of abuse become the abuser. This is because they experience the violence, but they too don't tolerate it. They feel attacked and they see it as a reason to be aggressive as well. They justify their aggression. In Harley's case, she tends to blame herself, although she is aware that Joker isn't always good for her. In those moments of clarity, she does act with aggression towards him. We already established that Joker is a violent criminal, but so is Harley. She's not shy of committing harm to others. However, fans rarely see her act of aggression as bad, or at least as bad as the Joker's. An explanation could be her attempts at living a crime-free life every once in a while. Another reason could be the contrast between her actions and those of the Joker. As long as Joker abuses Harley, her violence can be seen as less severe. I mean, the Joker did push her off a high-rise building or put her in a rocket once, so... In the Joker novel by Brian Azzarello, we see a Joker who is a more passive crime boss, while Harley is the muscle to his brains. She protects him. For example, she skins a person with no remorse. Joker even cries while kneeling in front of her. We as readers are not used to this dynamic. The power dynamic has changed, at least for a while. I've mentioned gender quite a few times, and domestic violence is oftentimes gendered violence. The question at hand is if that's also the case in Joker and Harley. The 1997 Elseworld story named Batman Thrill Killer may give us an answer. This story stars a female Joker who's in a lesbian relationship with Harley. Joker, aka Bianca, is still a violent criminal. She's capable of torturing people while being very feminine. When Harley enters, Joker isn't berating her or ignoring her. Bianca is loving and devotes her attention to her. There's no sign of any type of abuse in this relationship. This Joker is powerful without feeling the need to control and take down her partner. There's also no need for the Joker to see a reflection of herself in Harley. Eventually, Joker dies and Harley goes on a murderous rampage. This implies that Harley is perfectly capable of committing crimes on her own. We can argue that that's also the case in more recent adaptations, but is it really? She still has the clown persona and she's still very much associated with the Joker, just now as his ex-girlfriend. For a long time, even when she was getting close to Poison Ivy, Ivy had to keep her away from the Joker. And even then, she was still obsessing over him. We see this in the Harley Quinn series as well. Harley is fine without Joker, but she started doing more and more good deeds with the Bat family. No Joker means no reflection of the Joker in Harley, but the obsession still lingers. In the earlier seasons, whenever she saw Joker, it would trigger something inside of her. Anger, vengeance, justice. No matter what it was, she still felt some attachment to him. Her whole clown persona and origin are linked to the Joker as well. Joker will also always need a Harley Quinn. Once Harley entered his life, part of his identity became to be abusive and subjugate Harley in particular. Through Harley, he gains his violent power. They will always be linked. I kind of left out Batman Caped Crusader's Harley. This is because it's an alternate take on the character. She is very much a dangerous criminal, and as far as we know, she never had a relationship with Joker. She does have her jester persona though. Now, I still have a lot to say about the Joker and Harley relationship and why it's important for her character. But today I wanted to focus a bit more on the philosophical and psychological side of it. If you are interested in the video on the topic, please let me know in the comments. And if you want more Joker and Harley, I once made a video about their possible folie à deux, which you can watch right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!